like I said earlier, my sermon tonight is going to be challenged by change. I'm going to be coming from Hebrews 11:25. Go ahead and look that up in Malachi 3:6. I'll give you all a few minutes to. And I'll be reading now the New King James Version, so if you got the King James Version, it'll probably be just a little bit different. It says, choosing in Hebrews 11:25 says, choosing rather to suffer affliction with other people of God than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin. And then in Malachi 3:6 says, for I am the Lord, I do not change. Therefore, there you are not consumed, O sons of Jacob. You know, over the last 100 years, there's been a lot of changes in this world. And just like I was telling them back there, even in the 30 years, there's been a lot of changes, even in 20 years. You can probably keep on going on down to 5 years. You know, it's changing so fast that it's sort of hard to keep up with all the changes. You know, from one thing to another, everybody seems like they're on the move. Doing things like eating, working, marrying, divorcing, doing quite a bit of that, by the way. You know, shopping, you name it, they're doing it. People are going 24/7, and if you don't believe me, look at their town. I mean, especially on Friday night, it's chaos. You can't hardly do nothing. And even if you go on the interstates, anytime you want to go on the interstate, there's people on there. They're constantly on the go. What does that get us? Will get us air pollution. Stores are crowded, nerves are shot, and streets are dangerous. It seems to be the age of the half-read page and fast move dash from plane to plane. You know, back before 100 years ago, the only thing they had to travel with, I think it was a horse, wasn't it? Because cars wasn't in existence, or back to sometime anyway. Now look at it today. We can hop on a plane in San Francisco, just for instance, and be in New York in time to eat dinner. You know, so things have changed very drastically. And every day in America, I'm going to give you some statistics here. Every day in America, there is 108,000 people who move to a different house. 18,000 move to another state. 167 business goes bankrupt, while 609 starts up. 5,000 new cars and trucks are purchased. 87 of them are crushed. 603 people get divorced. 13,000 get married. So, you know, just some statistics I found. 9% of the items in the store did not exist 10 years ago. 50% of the people that graduated from college are going into jobs that did not exist when they were born. In the 50 years, and even when I was growing up, there was only 3 channels. Now we have 750. And even if you couldn't, if there's a TV show on you want to watch over here, and It's on the other channel at the same time. You don't have to miss it because you can DVR it. You can record it and watch it some other time when nothing's on you don't want to watch. Crime rates are at all-time high. 1 out of every 4,000 in the United States will be touched by theft, violent crime this year. 1 out of 5 women will have abortion this year. Every 4 seconds, a woman will be violently assaulted in America. Now, how does it affect us? Well, it affects our schools, for one thing. In 50 years, the major problem in schools was cigarette smoking, skipping class, running in the halls, spitballs, skipping class, talking. Today, the problem is deadly weapons, guns, knives, assault weapons, followed by arson, drugs, vandalism, and drunkenness and drugs. All these changes has impacted our churches also. 85% of the churches in the U.S. are on a plateau or declining. In the 90s, 60% of Americans was unchurched. 2/3 of our children in America is not receiving any religious training. We are facing difficult time in ministry. Because today you got to be careful of how you approach people. You got to be careful because you might offend somebody, but sometimes it's good to offend somebody. But we just got to be careful because the way this world and the laws of the land is today, we just got to be careful. That puts a difficult on them how we can ministry to them. It's just not as easy as it was 50, 20 years ago. Like in this Sunday school meeting we had the other day, Brother Derek said that they told him that the age of time of just opening the door up and saying, "Come," it's over. In order to get people to come, we're going to have to get out and get in places that we're not comfortable doing. So we're just going to have to get down and get our hands dirty, in other words, and dig in. The churches are facing and dealing with issues that no one ever thought of in 50 years. Look at today, laws allowing a man and man get married, a woman and a woman get married. Some states are legalized marijuana. So, 50 years ago, that was never thought of. I guarantee you, 50 years ago, they never thought a man would marry a man or a woman marry a woman. But it's in this state of time, it's happening. Seems like our world is just wheeling out of control toward the collision. What can we do? We must remember that God is still in charge, and that God never changes. Remember, God is still have the world in His hands, and we serve an all-powerful God. He's still in control. He never loses track of what's going on. He never gets confused. He never frets over a decision. He always makes the right decision. He always knows what He will do before the circumstances arise. God will still have the reins of the world, and His purpose will be carried out. Now, some of y'all right here might not know what I'm talking about when reins. Rain, you know what I'm talking about when I say the reins? All right. Reins is something like on a horse or a buggy or something, you guide the horse. You can make it go to the right, you can make it go to the left, pull back, make it stop. God got the reins of the world in His hands, and He can make the world do what He wants to do. The Bible speaks of an unchanging God. In this fast-changing world, in Malachi 3:6, says, "For I am the Lord, and I do not change." We must have a renewed vision. We must have a passionate and clear vision of what God had called us to do and what He need you to do. Well, you sit there and you might say, well, I've not been called to do anything. God's not called me. Well, like I told the Wednesday night class back there one night, if you're saved, you're called. Okay? So we're supposed to go out and spread the good news and tell people what God has done for us. Too often we have let off the gas and look backwards at the past. Here's a little illustration here. An 88-year-old man named Mr. Holmes was traveling on a train. The conductor asked for his ticket. Mr. Holmes looked. He looked and looked. He'd searched all his pockets, and he couldn't find his ticket. The conductor of the railroad said, "Mr. Holmes, don't worry. The Pennsylvania Railroad trusts you. When you get to your destination, you can just mail it to us." He looked at the conductor and said, "Good man, the ticket is not my problem. My problem is, where am I going?" There are so many people out there just in that same situation. They got a ticket but don't know where they're going. Isaiah 43:18 and 19, I'm going to read that for you. It says, "Do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of the old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." God is a God of new ideas. Things are changing in the world. God uses those changes. We must pray that God will give us a new vision for those changes. We may not be content with what is. So many times I hear people say, "Well, that's just the way it is." Well, why should it be just the way it is? We should, just be brave enough to stand up for what's right. What holds our attention will determine our actions. If you want to be depressed, look within. If you want to be defeated, look back. If you won't be delivered, look up. When you focus on the Lord, all setbacks become springboards. All obstacles will become opportunities. Cowards will become courageous. We can learn from Moses in Hebrews 11 and 27 says, by faith forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. You know, Moses left guiding God's people out of Egypt, not fearing what the king's going to do, because he is trusting God. He is keeping his eyes upon the goal. He just kept on going. When challenges, a new challenge faced him, he just overcome it. But how did he do it? He kept his eyes focused on Jesus Christ. We need to fix our eyes on the unchanging Christ. God is the ordinary people. God uses the ordinary people to totally commit to Him. To make a difference in this changing world. Yes, one person can make a difference. I'm getting ready to come to a close. One man can make a difference. One man said it remains to be seen what God can do with a man, a woman, or a young person that totally dedicated himself. One guy said, I'll be that man. What about it tonight? Will you say, I'll be that person? Will you so dedicate yourself to God for this changing world and be willing to step out to make a difference? You know, it might not be much that you have to do, but just the little simplest things can make a difference in somebody's life. You know, because everybody out there is looking for something. Everybody out there is looking for something. Most of them's looking in the wrong place. Most of them are turning to drugs and alcohol and everything else. But if we can show them the love of Jesus Christ, wouldn't this world be a wonderful place? We can do that right here, right now. We could start that right here with Rock Hill Baptist and let it just start boiling over and just turn this world upside down. We could, because loving y'all ain't got that no problem. This is the most loving church I've ever been in, and I've been in quite a few churches. We just need to get out in the trenches, in other words, where we normally wouldn't go, and show the people love. Because I'm telling you from experience, there's people searching. Before I become a Christian, I was one of them. I was searching. Even though I was raised up in church all my life, I was still searching. And I didn't find it until I found Jesus Christ. And it took somebody to show me the love. And somebody take time out and show that they cared for me. Yeah, I had loving parents, but that wasn't good enough for me. That's just parents. They got to be, I thought, well, they're my parents, they got to love me. Okay? It took somebody else besides my parents to wake me up. So maybe you might be that person.